Let's get right to it. Those two gaffes from Joe Biden come in. Matt Mackowiak, Potomac Strategy Group President. Right, you heard my editorial. You think Biden's gaffes are a problem for moderate Democrats? Because I obviously do. What say you?
Yeah, I agree, and I think they're a problem for the Democratic Party more broadly. I mean, Biden has been, a sturdy frontrunner, a steady frontrunner for throughout, this year. I would probably argue he's a bit of a weak frontrunner, but his poll numbers have been really pretty solid all the way through. Stuart, if you look at Democratic primary voters, the way they self-describe, 25% of them describe themselves as moderate and 30% of them describe themselves as independent. So to your point, there is a solid majority of Democratic primary voters that would likely want to support a more moderate candidate. The question is whether Biden can survive till the end of this year without making the kind of mistake that costs him his first place lead in the polls.
Well, you make a judgment for me. Do you think he survives? I mean, I am suggesting that his age is a real problem for him. What say you? Does he survive?
Yeah, so look, he actually has a history of gaffes, so it almost makes me wonder if age is not the issue. Certainly it would make it worse, would make these things more common, but he's made gaffes almost from the very beginning of his public career. And it's in some ways part of his sort of authenticity, his sort of middle-class Joe ethos. Look, I subscribe to the Haley Barbour idea about politics, that in politics, good gets better and bad gets worse. I just think Biden is going to continue to make these kind of mistakes. His campaign is trying to protect him from the media, from interactions with voters. He's actually not keeping an aggressive schedule like a lot of his competitors are. At some point, he can't continue to do that. He's going to have to run a real campaign and show he has the vigor to do this and to get through the gauntlet.
You're a Texas guy, and I'm going to ask you a question which I never thought I would be asking a guy from Texas. But there's all kinds of feeling that maybe Texas is now a swing state, that it could actually swing to the Democrats, that the president could lose Texas in 2020. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I would not put Texas in the category of a Michigan, of a Pennsylvania, of a Wisconsin. I mean, those states are going to decide this presidential election. Trump won Texas by 9%. That was down a couple points from McCain 4 years before, which was down 4 points from Romney 4 years before that. So the trend line, particularly if you add in the 2018 midterm, is certainly moving in a blue direction. But that doesn't mean they're going to win it. They're going to need to spend $100 or $200 million here. And the question is going to be, do they nominate someone who could even put Texas in play? Biden would be more competitive here. But if the nominee is Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or even Kamala Harris, then no, I don't believe Texas will be in play on the statewide level. The Midwest, the Rust Belt, is going to determine who our next president is. I would add, if Beto O'Rourke or Julian Castro, the two Texas candidates, are somehow on the ballot, either in the number 1 or number 2 slot, that could cause things to become more competitive. The challenge for Trump is the suburbs are moving away from him. And that is a huge concern for this party, particularly down ballot, where we have 8 targeted congressional races in 2020.
Matt Mackowiak, thank you very much for joining us, sir. See you soon. Thank you.